everybody. It's Brett, and it's Saturday night. And yes, that's what I'm doing. I'm trying to stay sane in an insane world. And one of the ways that I do that is by talking to you, this camera, and telling you about all the things that are going on in my mind as I've been writing them down. And yeah, so many things to talk about. And I'd like to invite you to join me. So, first things first, nobody should be receiving any criticism for not wanting to get the you know what. And you can basically just say for sure that that's what you're going to get. You're going to get like pressure. Every time the pressure rises on society, the pressure is going to rise on you if you haven't gotten it. And so you can just expect that from now on and be good with it. And so I made a little post on Facebook saying basically that you should not feel any shame or any pressure if you do not want to do something against your own body. And that's just how it is. You know, it's your body, it's your health. If you've been working hard for a good health naturally, like I have for a long time, nobody has any right to put any kind of yada yada on you at all. Now, I will say that I went to the co-op a couple of days ago, maybe it was yesterday morning, and everybody was cool. Everybody was cool there. I didn't get any pressure about anything, you know, and everything seemed fine. So hopefully people are starting to get it, you know, that some people don't want to get it and some people do. Hi, Michael. And but yeah, that may not be the same everywhere. Like in Canada, for instance, I have a friend in Quebec that's, you know, the Trudeau is putting a lot of pressure on people there. And one good thing is she can't go to the alcohol place and buy alcohol there anymore because it's a government, it's a state-run facility. So that's good. She says she's going to quit drinking. Okay, so some say it's a woman's right to choose in regards to abortion. And so you can kind of relate this to also the you know what, because it's our right to choose not to get something injected into our bodies, some kind of a foreign matter. I mean, just think about it. It's just weird. It's just nuts to think that people could do that, could put pressure on other people to get it. But it's all just because there are so many people that aren't very healthy. It's not our fault in any regard. It's their fault for eating all of that junk food and not taking care of themselves naturally. And let's see. So last night I was looking at something. I've been watching some really good videos, and I was thinking to myself, you know, there are some amazingly talented people out there. And if you too are watching some really great musicians or artists or videographers or whatever, if they're doing something amazingly good, that kind of can put some pressure on us, everyone else, you know? And I think that in certain circumstances, it's good to kick people in the butts to get them initiated to doing something new and different and improve their lives, etc. But I don't think that you should feel down on yourself just because somebody else is really particularly good at doing something that they've probably been practicing at for a long time and have gotten good that way by doing it that way, you know, working hard. And as far as natural healing goes, I've been at this for 30 years. And so you shouldn't feel, you know, I mean, there are things that I learn every day. I still learn things all the time. And so you shouldn't feel like, you know, what's the word for it? Subpar. just because you don't know near as much about natural healing as I have. But so let's talk about something else. On my site, you can get free reflexology downloads, and you can also download these free wisdom papers. And speaking of free wisdom papers, let's read one. And yes, I can do a live night on any given night of the week. I know all things will pass and that peace will reign true in the end. Okay, so whenever you pick one of these, it's like opening a book. You get exactly what you deserve. You get exactly the answer that you need. And this is like part of my spirituality because I see how all the signs connect. And it's very interesting. It's hard to predict any of it. You can kind of get an idea, but most of it, I'm working on the being able to manifest my own dreams and stuff by being able to create the energy that I want. Because whenever I see stuff like this is exactly what I've been needing. So every January after Christmas and New Year's, people are kind of worn out from all of the holidays and the present buying and all of the hoopla and the traveling and all of that. And so then business is really slow, and hopefully I'm prepared. And this year I'm kind of prepared, but I'm never really totally prepared for this time of the year. This is always the hardest time of the year for me. I feel as though not really that I'm being picked on, just that I'm needing to adapt. I'm needing to adapt to this time of the year the best that I can. And so what I've been doing is I've just been fixing things, organizing things, cleaning things, um, getting things done. I just got a whole bunch of computer work done that I needed to get done for advertising my products on my computer. And so that was about a 3-hour job, working on my website. And so, yeah, that's what I've been doing lately. And there's nothing else really that I can do. It's really kind of frustrating for sure. But yeah, I've been writing things down. So yes, and I have, in addition to the reflexology charts, I have plenty of soother massage tools that you can use or that you can buy and use along with your reflexology charts. And if you buy something bigger that comes in a larger package, I can fit those I give people the laminated versions of the free reflexology charts for free if they buy something that's big enough to fit that in, because it's stiff. You can't fold it like a regular piece of paper. So many of you have been like annoyed at my pickiness about things, how I'm picky about my diet, the people that I associate myself with, the things that I buy, stuff like that. And I've been trying to perfect my world for a long time. And so you shouldn't be like too concerned about, because you have your own world. You have your world, I have my world, and we all have to work on our own things. And I'm always going to tell you exactly what I think about this or that because I don't hold stuff back too much. And that can be somewhat annoying to some people. But you shouldn't allow it to be too annoying for your own life. You should just be within you. It's kind of just like watching a video, like I'd mentioned before, about somebody that's really good at music, for instance. There's no reason or no way that you should be concerned about like feeling below them, feeling below me. You're in your world and you're doing your own thing, and focus on that. And right now, it's really important to stay focused on doing your own thing because there is just so much going on in this world. And if you think about life and death and all of that kind of jargon, then you know how difficult it is to stay alive in this world. Because whenever you start feeling down on yourself, that's taking energy away from your life. So don't do that to yourself. I know it's really difficult. I'm telling you this because that's what I've been feeling lately in my life. And it's been difficult, you know, like, you're not doing good enough. You're too hard on people or something like that, you know. And I've just been me. I've been me, and I cannot be anything else. And that's just how it is. So, all kinds of crazy thoughts go through my mind, especially this time of the year. I really like to stay busy. It's one of the things that keeps me from thinking about all these crazy thoughts. So, in addition to the crazy thoughts that I have during the day, I have crazy thoughts, dreams, all night. And for the last couple of weeks, maybe even more, they just go and they go and they go. I get up to pee every couple of hours, and then I go back to bed. I fall asleep instantly, and then all night long, crazy freaking dreams. And during the day, like when it gets really cold, what's the instant thing that might go through your mind? Well, if you live in an apartment like I do that's electrically heated, you might think to yourself, what if the electricity goes out? this is not a good thing. So I'm like, well, I would go get my sleeping bag. I would put on a lot more clothes and I would manage. And this apartment doesn't get too cold, even if it's really cold outside. I've never seen it get below 50 degrees in here, so I would be okay. But it's just another example of how I can get these thoughts going on in my head. We'll do that in a bit. Okay, so one thing that some people would like to know about is like my opinion on having fat on your body. Is it okay to have some fat on your body? It is. It's good to have a little bit of fat reserves on your body. And the reason for that is because, I mean, you don't want to be too lean. If you're too lean and something happens that like you need to fast or something like that, some kind of an emergency situation, then you wouldn't want to be with no fat, no extra fat on your body because that's what's going to keep you going. And it's it's most likely that very few of you are in that situation where you don't have very much fat, like hardly any on your body. But I would like to have less fat on my belly, but I'm okay with where I'm at, and that's just kind of one of the things. You need to be okay with where you're at. And everyone knows, like, if you were to have 5 or 10 pounds of fat, excess fat on your body, that would probably be perfect. Okay, so the other night I was watching this video with monks. And these monks, they live on this island off the Mediterranean coast near like Italy and Sicily. Thanks, Jerry. And thanks, Michael. So they've lived there for 1,000 years, and there's never been any women there. It's only men. no women are allowed to go to this monastery that's high on these cliffs. It's right on these cliffs. And for a long time, they thought that, I wonder if this monastery is someday going to fall off into the sea. But it's way high on the cliffs, and I don't think that it's being affected by like weather and stuff. But I was thinking a lot of different thoughts about that. These monks that live there, and they're supposedly vegetarians. I'm not sure if they're vegans or not. But see, that doesn't necessarily mean that you're eating a very good diet just because you're eating a vegan diet. Do you know what I mean? Because they could be eating dairy and wheat, and in my opinion, those are not good foods to be consuming. They clog your body. And and who knows what else they could be consuming or not getting enough nutrients. But they say this little mantra about Jesus, please forgive me, something like that. It's in another language, but they say it all day long. And the guy that was interviewing them for one of the major news stations kept pestering them and prodding them to let them do an interview and come onto their island. And they hadn't done one since 1981. And so they finally allowed them to come, and I think it was CBS, but maybe it was ABC. I can't remember. But the guy noticed that as people were doing their daily chores, etc., they were saying this mantra, and they could see their lips moving, you know, saying this mantra, and they could hear them whispering it. Whispering this little mantra over and over and over again, all day long while they're doing their tasks, their dishes, washing dishes, or they're picking fruit off trees or whatever they're doing. And so, hi, Myra, Myra Bentley. So, anyways, I was thinking to myself, I wonder if that's particularly good because I was just telling you that my mind chatters, with all kinds of thoughts going into it during the day. Um, Maybe it would be good to offset that with just saying some kind of a mantra over and over again. But really, the most peace that I feel is when my mind is just calm. And so I don't know that it's such a good thing. Maybe they're doing that to offset their desires for women or their desires for something else. Like if they're like, well, man, don't think about that, getting this or that from them, or because all you need to do is just keep saying this mantra over and over again in your mind to keep your mind off of all of that. But for me, I just go with what feels good, what my body and mind are really wanting and needing. And, you can't always get what you want, but you have to do your best to get to get what you can. So, sorry about that. Mm, create good feelings. Okay. So sometimes I'll need to just vent. And when I vent, oftentimes every day, in fact, every day lately at least, I felt I've had a lot of pressure on me, and I felt like I needed to get out my stuff. Just like when I'm dreaming at night, I'm purging thoughts and emotions, etc. But I think it really helps me to get out my thoughts and feelings by watching the news. But I can only watch it for so long because it's either too boring or it's too depressing or whatever. And right now, because I have all this pressure on me, I'm just feeling like, well, I need it, but I can only handle it for so long. So I'll watch it for a little while and get out my angst, and then I try to get myself back to the center. And being back to the center, coming back to the trunk of the tree is really important. And it gives you good feelings. And so on that note, I think that I'd like to do a few things just to come back to the center and get some good feelings going on with this video. And first, I'd like to drink a little bit of water and get very hydrated. And then I would like to pick a few fortune papers for anybody that would like to have one. And anybody that wants one should write that they would like one in the chat box. I'll be patient and wait. If nobody wants one, I'll read from this Metaphysical Meditations book because it's really, really good. I'll keep an eye on that. Okay, we're reading from right there. I go within. Perfect. I was a prisoner carrying a heavy load of bones and flesh, but I have broken the chains of my muscle-bound body by the power of relaxation. I am free. Now I shall try to go within. I am sitting on the altar of my throbbing heart. I watch the roaring, shouting torrent of life force moving through the heart into the body. I turn backward to the spine. The beat and roar of the heart are gone. Like a sacred hidden river, my life force flows in the gorge of the spine. I enter a dim corridor through the door of the spiritual eye and speed on until at last the river of my life flows into the ocean of life and loses itself in bliss. I am the microcosm and the macrocosm and the microcosm. My body is the universe. I am the astral breath that enlivens all things. I am the vast life that is throbbing as the little life in my heart. This is a really good book. O Holy Om. O Holy Ghost, sacred Om vibration, enlarge my consciousness as I listen to thine omnipresent sound. Make me feel that I am both the cosmic ocean and the little wave of body vibration in it. Teach me to hear thy voice, O Father, the cosmic voice that commanded all vibration to spring forth. Manifest to me as Om, the cosmic song of all sound. O omnipresent cosmic sound of Om, reverberate through me, expanding my consciousness from the body to the universe, and teach me to feel in thee the all-permeating perennial bliss. O cosmic sound of Om, guide me, be with me, lead me from darkness to light. Let's do an Om. Let's do an Om. Om. Let's do another one. Love that. Expansion in eternity. Eternity yawns at me below, above, on the left and on the right. in front and behind, within and without. With open eyes, I behold myself as the little body. With closed eyes, I perceive myself as the cosmic center around which revolves the sphere of eternity, the sphere of bliss, the sphere of omnipresent, omniscient living space. I feel him like a gentle breath of bliss, breathing in my body of universe. I perceive him shining. Oh, sorry. Love that. I perceive him shining through the bright twinkles of all luminosity and through the waves of cosmic consciousness. I behold him as the light of solar inspiration, holding the luminaries of my thoughts in the rhythms of balance. I feel him as a bursting voice, leading, guiding, teaching secretly in the soul temples of all men and all creation. He is the foundation of wisdom and of all radiant inspiration, flowing through all souls. He is the fragrance oozing from the incense vase of all hearts. He is a garden of celestial blossoms and bright thought flowers. He is the love that inspires our love dreams. I feel him percolating through my heart as through all hearts, through the pores of the earth, through the sky, through all created things. He is the eternal motion of joy. He is the mirror of silence in which all creation is reflected. My earthly experiences serve as a process of destruction of my limited mortal delusions. In God, the wildest dreams are realized. I will give him the morning star. Revelation 2:28. See, even Yogananda occasionally quotes the Bible. The reality of my life cannot die, for I am indestructible consciousness. I am submerged in his eternal light. It permeates every particle of my being. I am living in that light, for the divine spirit has filled me within and without. I will close my physical eyes and dismiss the temptations of matter. I will peer through the darkness of silence until my eyes of relativity open into the one inner eye of light. When my two eyes that behold both good and evil become single, and behold in everything only the divine goodness of God, I shall see that my body, mind, and soul have become filled with his omnipresent light. He just writes so beautifully. All the veils of my ignorant outer life are burned in the light of my awakening in Christ, and I behold the intelligence of the baby Jesus cradled in the petals of roses, in the weaving of lights, and in the love lights of all true matters. So, in regards to Christ, to Jesus Christ, it's not that I'm not a believer. It's not that I don't believe that there was a person that represented goodness like all of this. It's just that I'm really not into reading the Bible. I really like to read beautiful writings that I can read that are easy for me and touch my soul. And, it's not that there aren't things in the Bible that don't have that. It's that I don't really want to search for them. And I don't find them that easy to read, etc., if you know what I mean. If you've ever read the Bible, then you know what I'm talking about. If you listen to this, then you know what I'm talking about as well. I am infinite, I am spaceless, I am tireless. I am beyond body, thought, and utterance, beyond all matter and mind. I am endless bliss. See, easy to understand, beautiful, and enjoyable to read. Whether floating in birth or disappearing in death, in the ocean of divinity, the bubble of my life cannot die. I am indestructible, consciousness protected in the bosom of spirit's immortality. I am no longer the wave of consciousness, thinking itself separated from the sea of cosmic consciousness. I am the ocean of spirit that has become the waves of human lives. Like a silent, invisible river flowing beneath the desert flows, the vast, dimensionless river of spirit, through the sands of time, through the sands of experience, through the sands of all souls, through the sands of all living atoms, through the sands of all space. O infinite energy, infinite wisdom, recharge us with thy spiritual vibration. Outer lures away. Bewitching scenic beauties, stop your dance before my eyes. Lure not my attention away. Enchanting melodies, keep not my mind enthralled in the revels of earthly songs. Haunting sirens of sweet sensations, paralyze not my sacred intuitions by your enticing touch. Let my meditation race for the sweet bower of eternal divine love. Luring aroma of lilacs, jasmine, and roses, stop not my homeward marching mind. These tempting enchantresses of the senses are now gone. The cords of the flesh are broken. The grip of the senses is loosened. I exhale and stop the storm of breath. The ripples of thought melt away. O Father, thou art sacred perennial joy. Thou art the joy I seek. Thou art the joy of the soul. Teach me to worship thee through the joy born of meditation. Reading this book is a meditation. I am flying home. Goodbye, blue house of heaven. Farewell, stars and celestial celebrities, for your dramas on the screen of space. Goodbye, flowers with your traps of beauty and fragrance. You can hold me no longer. I am flying home. Adieu to the warm embrace of sunshine. Farewell, cool, soothing. Sorry. Drink some water. So I think it's kind of hard for me to think about giving up this life because I enjoy it so much, even though it's been so painful. So for me to think about giving it up and flying home is hard. Sorry, give me just a sec, okay? Adieu to the warm embrace of sunshine. Farewell, cool, soothing, comforting breeze. Goodbye. I can't say goodbye to music. Sorry. It's the one thing I can't give up. But maybe I'll get to see John Denver someday. That's what I've always wanted. Goodbye, entertaining music of man. I stayed long reveling with you, with all of you, dancing with my variously costumed thoughts, drinking the wine of my feelings and my mundane will. I have now forsaken the intoxications of delusion. Goodbye, muscles, bones, and bodily motions. Farewell, breath. I cast thee away from my breast. Adieu, heart throbs, emotions, thoughts, and memories. I am flying home in a place of silence. I go to feel my heart throb in him. I soar in the plane of consciousness above, beneath, on the left, on the right, within and without, everywhere to find that in every nook of my space home I have always been in the sacred presence of my Father. I am in all places. Meditate. I am beholding through the eyes of all. I am working through all hands. I am walking through all feet. The brown, white, olive, yellow, red, and black bodies are all mine. I am thinking with the minds of all. I am dreaming through all dreams. I am feeling through all feelings. The flower of joy blooming on all heart tracks are mine. I am eternal laughter. My smiles are dancing through all faces. I am the waves of enthusiasm in all God-tuned hearts. I am the wind of wisdom that dries the sighs and sorrows of all humanity. I am the silent joy of life moving through all beings. God's vastness I glimpsed in the skies of quietness. His joy I tasted in the fountains of my existence. His voice I heard in my unsleeping consciousness. Heavenly Father, teach me to find freedom in Thee, that I may know nothing on earth beyond to me. All beings belong to Thee. Teach me to know my home is Thine omnipresence. O cosmic silence, I hear Thy voice through the murmur of brooks, the song of the nightingale, the sounding of conch shells, the beat of ocean waves, and the hum of vibrations. Teach me to behold Thy vastness, Thy changelessness beyond all things, that I may perceive myself as part of Thy changeless being. O Father, break the boundaries of Thy little waves of my heart, that I may join the ocean of Thy vastness. In the hall of creation, O Divine Mother, everywhere I hear the rhythm of Thy footsteps, dancing wildly in the blooming thunder and softly in the song of atoms. I will conflagrate all space and roll over its bosom, unburnt and deathless. I will dive into infinity, never reaching the end. I will run and race and spread my laughter in all things, in all motion, and in all motionless void. I will consciously receive the light of the omnipresent Father constantly passing through me. Let me behold naught but beauty, naught but good, naught but truth, naught but Thine eternally immortal fountain of bliss. Awaken me, O Heavenly Father, that I may arise from the confining tomb of flesh into the consciousness of my cosmic body. Unite my love with Thy love. Unite my life with Thy joy, and my mind with Thy cosmic consciousness. O mighty ocean, I pray that the rivers of my desires, meandering through many deserts of difficulties, may merge in Thee. On spreading ripples of peace. Fix your mind in between the eyebrows on the shoreless lake of peace. Watch the eternal circle of rippling peace around you. The more you watch intently, the more you will feel the wavelets of peace extending from the eyebrows to the forehead, from the forehead to the heart, and on to every cell in your body. Hi, Joe. Hi, Do. Now the waters of peace are overflowing the banks of your body and leaving the vast territory of your mind. Now the flood of peace overflows the boundaries of your mind and moves on around you in infinite directions. Hang on, I got a pop up. There we go. With the sword of peace, O Lord, let me fight through the thick skirmish of trials. Mind if I read that one again? With the sword of peace, O Lord, let me fight through the thick skirmish of trials. I am the Prince of perpetual peace, playing in the drama of sad and happy dreams on the stage of experience. Peace. Peace flows through my heart and blows through me as a zephyr. Peace fills me like a fragrance. Peace runs through me like rays. Peace stabs at the heart of noise and worries. Peace burns through my disquietude. Peace, like a globe of fire, expands and fills my omnipresence. Peace, like an ocean, rolls on in all space. Peace, like red blood, vitalizes the veins of my thoughts. Peace, like a boundless aureole, encircles my body of infinity. Peace flames blow through the pores of my flesh and through all space. The perfume of peace flows over the gardens of blossoms. The wine of peace runs perpetually through the winepress of all hearts. Peace is the breath of stones, stars, and sages. Peace is the ambrosial wine of spirit flowing from the cask of silence, which I quaff with my countless mouths of atoms. Meditation on silence. My silence, like an expanding sphere, spreads everywhere. My silence spreads like a radio song, above, beneath, left and right, within and without. My silence spreads like a wildfire of bliss. The dark thickets of sorrow and the tall oaks of pride are all burning up. My silence, like the ether, passes through everything, carrying the songs of earth, atoms, and stars into the halls of his infinite mansion. May I not dope myself with the opiate of restlessness. I'll read that one again. May I not dope myself with the opiate of restlessness. Behind the throb of my heart, I shall feel the throb of God's peace. I will fill my heart with the peace of meditation. I will pour heartfuls of my joy into peace-thirsty souls. Hi, Nisi. All spiritually successful people, such as Jesus, Babaji, Lahiri, Mahayasa, Sri Yukteswar, Swami Shakanara, and other masters, are manifestations of our one Father God. I am happy in the thought that my spiritual ambition to realize unity with God is one that has already been attained by all great masters. I wish I could pronounce all of those better. Sorry. Each day I will meditate more deeply than yesterday. Each tomorrow I will meditate more deeply than today. I will meditate during most of my leisure hours. Today, with a soft touch of intuition, I will tune my radio soul and rid my mind of static restlessness, that I may hear thy voice of cosmic vibration, the music of atoms, and the melody of love vibrating in my super consciousness. I will find perpetual celestial happiness within. Peace will reign in silence or in the midst of activities. Let me hear thy voice, O God, in the cave of meditation. God's flaming presence. I will seek thee as the ever increasing bliss of meditation. I will feel thee as boundless joy throbbing in my heart. I will seek to know thee first, last, and all the time. Finding thee first, I shall find through thee all things I crave. Teach me to find thy presence on the altar of my conscious, constant peace, and in the joy that springs from deep meditation. Bless me that I may find thee in the temple of each thought and activity. Finding thee within, I shall find thee without, in all people and all conditions. Teach me to feel that it is thy smile that manifests in the dawn, in the lips of roses, and on the faces of noble men and women. I will do away with the mockery of peruding prayer. Peruding. I don't know that word. I will pray deeply until the darkness of meditation burns with thy flaming presence. Heavenly Father, I will not wait until tomorrow for thy song. For today I will broadcast my soul call into the ether, and thou must respond through the receiver of my silence. Take away from my mind the weight of indifference and forgetfulness. Make me drink the nectar of thine ever-blessed presence. With the deepening of inner and outer silence, thy peace comes. I will try always to move about quietly, ever listening for thy footsteps. Having thee is the deepest joy of deepest meditation. I know that all things, prosperity, health, and wisdom, will be added unto me. In the temple of silence, I found thine altar of peace. On the altar of peace, I found thine ever new joy. To fish for thee in the deepest waters of my soul. Find God in joy. No matter what causes it, whenever a little bubble of joy appears in your invisible sea of consciousness, take hold of it and keep expanding it. Meditate on it, and it will grow larger. Watch not the limitations of the little bubble of your joy, but keep expanding it until it grows bigger and bigger. Keep puffing at it with the breath of concentration from within until it spreads all over the ocean of infinity in your consciousness. Keep puffing at the bubble of joy until it breaks its confining walls and becomes the sea of joy. Within my soul is the joy that my ego is seeking. I suddenly become aware of his bliss, honeycombed in the hive of silence. I love that one. I suddenly become aware of his bliss, honeycombed in the hive of silence. I will break the hive of secret silence and drink the honey of unceasing blessedness. In the voice of the viol, the flute, and the deep-toned organ, I hear God's voice. Such a great writer. The flowers with bright skies, with divine manna of joy in happy minds, with souls of wisdom, with songs of the birds, with divine melodies in the hearts of men. My beloved is calling me to retrace my footsteps to his home of peace within. I will drive away all despondency in order to make a mighty effort to feel God by meditating until he finally appears. I will meditate more and more deeply until I feel his omnipresence. I will seek the kingdom of God in the joy arising from constant, long, deep, continuous meditation. I will continuously seek to find the Lord within, and I will not be satisfied with the little imaginary inspirations that come from short, restless silences. By realizing God, I will be reclaimed as His child. Without asking or begging, I shall receive all prosperity, health, and wisdom for my share as His divine child. O thou perfume of all hearts and all roses, I mind not how many days of scalding sorrow across the threshold of my life to search and test me. Through thy blessing, through thy blessing, may they remind me of my errors that may have kept me away from thee. I care not if all things are wrestled away from me by my self-created destiny, but I demand of thee, my own, to guard the slender taper of my love for thee. O glorious omnipresence, let not the fire of memory for thee be blown out by the gusts of oblivion arising from the whirlwinds of my worldliness. Every star of heaven, every pure thought, every good act shall be a window through which to behold thee. Through meditation, I will stop the storm of breath, mental restlessness, and sensory disturbances raging over the lake of my mind. Through prayer and meditation, I will harness my will and activity to the right goal. My omnipresent throne. I came down from my omnipresent throne of love in the bosom of space and in the hearts of twinkling lights to find a cozy place in the heart of man. I stayed there long, shut out from my large, large home. I was everywhere, and then I hid myself away in small places. Now I come out of my hiding places. I open the gates of the human limitations of family, caste, color, and creed. I am racing everywhere to feel again my consciousness of omnipresence. Through the transparency of my deepest meditation, I shall receive the light of the omnipresent Father passing through me. I shall be a son of God, even as Jesus was, by receiving God fully through my sacred meditation and expanded consciousness. The moment I am restless or disturbed in my mind, I will retire to silence and meditation until calmness is restored. I'd like to read that one again. The moment I am restless or disturbed in my mind, I will retire to silence and meditation until calmness is restored. Thanks, Myra. Meditations on the Christ. I will follow the shepherds of faith, devotion, and meditation. Guided by the star of soul wisdom, the shepherds will lead me to the Christ. I will behold the only begotten, the sole reflection of transcendental God, the Father, born in the womb of infinite vibratory matter, as the Christ intelligence that shepherds all creation to an infinite divine end. I will break the chains of restlessness and limitlessly expand the powers of my meditation until the universal Christ consciousness is able to manifest fully through me. So bless me, Father, that the single eye of realization lead me to behold through all the vials of matter and infinite presence of Christ. I will meditate. Beloved God, since no earthly engagement is possible without my using powers borrowed from thee, I will renounce everything that interferes with my daily engagement to meditate on thee in living silence. Today I will meditate no matter how tired I think I feel. I will not allow myself to be a victim to noise while trying to meditate. I will transfer my consciousness to the inner world. Through the gateway of meditation, I will enter God's temple of peace everlasting. There I will worship Him at the altar of ever new contentment. I will kindle the fire of happiness to illuminate His temple within. I will meditate regularly that the light of faith may usher me into the immortal kingdom of my Heavenly Father. Divine Mother, I will pull away the starry veil of the blue. I will tear away the cover of space. I will melt away the magic carpet of thoughts. I will shut off the diverting motion pictures of life that I may behold Thee. I know God can be realized through meditation by intuitional perception, but not by the restless mind. I will open my eyes to the joy of meditation. Then I shall see all darkness vanish. I will make my inner environment perfect through meditation, that it may be impervious to all adverse outside influences. I will begin each day with meditation on the Supreme Being. I will bathe in the sacred pool of God's hidden love hidden behind the ramparts of meditation on material concerns. Never lose hope. If you have given up hope of everlasting, of ever being happy, cheer up. If you have ever given up hope of ever being happy, cheer up. Never lose hope. Your soul, being a reflection of the ever joyous Spirit, is, in essence, happiness itself. I should read that again. Never lose hope. If you have ever given up hope of ever being happy, cheer up. Never lose hope. Your soul, being a reflection of the ever joyous Spirit, is, in essence, happiness itself. If you keep the eyes of your concentration closed, you cannot see the sun of happiness burning within your bosom. But no matter how tightly you close your eyes of your attention, the fact nevertheless remains that the happiness rays are ever trying to pierce the closed doors of your mind. Open the windows of calmness, and you will find a sudden burst of the bright sun of joy within your very self. The joyous rays of the soul may be perceived if you interiorize your attention. These perceptions may be had by training your mind to enjoy the beautiful scenery of thoughts in the invisible, intangible kingdom within you. Do not search for happiness only in beautiful clothes, clean houses, delicious dinners, soft cushions, and luxuries. These will imprison your happiness behind the bars of externality, of outwardness. Have to read that one again. Do not search for happiness only in beautiful clothes, clean houses, delicious dinners, soft cushions, and luxuries. These will imprison your happiness behind the bars of externality, of outwardness. Rather, in the airplane of your visualization, glide over the limitless empire of thoughts. Therefore, behold the mountain ranges of unbroken, lofty spiritual aspirations for improving yourself and others. Glide over the deep valleys of universal sympathy. Fly over the geysers of enthusiasm, over the Niagara Falls of perpetual wisdom, plunging down the hoary crags of your soul's presence. Soar over the endless river of intuitive perception to the kingdom of His omnipresence. there in his mansion of bliss, drinking from his fountains of whispering wisdom, and quench the thirst of your desire. Dine on him with the fruits of divine love in banquet hall of eternity. If you have made up your mind to find joy within yourself, sooner or later you shall find it. Seek it now, daily, by steady, deeper and deeper meditation within. Make a true effort to go within, and you will find there your longed for happiness, the light of smiles. Meditate, dwell on, and practice this in daily life. I will light the match of smiles. My gloom veil will disappear. I shall behold my soul in the light of my smiles, hidden behind the accumulated darkness of ages. When I find myself, I shall race through all hearts with the torch of my soul smiles. My heart will smile first, and then my eyes and my face. Every body part will shine in the light of smiles. I will run amid the thickets of melancholy hearts, and make a bonfire of all sorrows. I am the irresistible fire of smiles. I will fan myself with the breeze of God's joy, and blaze my way through the darkness of all minds. My smiles will convey his smiles, and whoever meets me will catch a whiff of my divine joy. I will carry fragrant, purifying torches of smiles for all hearts. I will make the weeping ones smile by smiling myself even when it is difficult. In the cheer of all hearts, I hear the echo of thy bliss. In the friendship of all true hearts, I discover thy friendship. I rejoice as much in the prosperity of my brothers as I do in my own prosperity. In helping others, I will be wise. I too, in helping others to be wise, I increase my own wisdom. In the happiness of all, I find my own happiness. Nothing shall blight my smiles. Grim death, disease, or failure cannot daunt me. Disaster cannot really touch me, for I possess the unconquerable, unchangeable, ever new bliss of God. I will burn candles of smiles in the bosoms of the joyless. Before the unfading light of my cheer, darkness will take flight from the hearts of my brothers. First and foremost, I will try to be a joy billionaire, and thus satisfy my needs for spiritual and material prosperity at the same time. That's good. I read a lot more than I thought I was going to. You can just get going on this. Because it flows so beautifully. So I'm not really sure how I can talk about any of this now that I've read that. So I can talk about my diet. It's just now, there's nothing really major that I'm doing now. I suppose the most major thing that I'm doing with my diet now is increasing the raw. I've been eating raw kale. Most of the time I've been eating it cooked. And I've been eating it raw in the summertime, but to eat raw kale in the wintertime is kind of new for me. I think my gut's getting stronger, my digestive system's getting stronger, and I'm getting cleaner. You know what I mean? I ate some oysters today. I was talking about zinc. We were talking about zinc on a forum on Facebook, and they're talking about how, as I mentioned before, how various nutrients are for the you know what, good for the you know what. And I'm always wanting to get my nutrients from whole foods. So I had some oysters today and got a lot of zinc into my body. There's so much zinc in oysters, it's not even funny. But if you guys want to tune into some more comical and more aggressive videos, you can find me on BitChute. Brett's Health Videos is the name of the channel, I believe. And it's got about a half a dozen videos on BitChute that you can check out. I can't put a link to that on YouTube. It's against their rules. As I mentioned, I've been trying to get ahead of the game on everything. Cleaning, organizing, fixing things on the computer, fixing things on my car, trying to prepare for traveling and teaching massage, which is what I really need to do to get my channel going again. Crazy dreams, I already talked about that. So China, I watched a program on how China has a no you know what policy. They have an absolute no you know what policy. And so they've shut down full cities right now in China. Whole cities are completely shut down. There was an American online talking about how he couldn't even stick his nose out his front door without getting in trouble. And I think that that's just a perfect reflection of, an extreme reflection of what a lot of other countries are doing, like Australia, Canada, um, the one in Europe that's totally locked everyone down that hasn't gotten the you know what. And I think that they're going to learn the hard way because people have to be able to do things, or they're going to have too much stress and economies have to keep going. They have to keep flowing. You can't just completely shut cities down. You can't just keep doing that. And we're learning that there just really isn't any alternative to natural health. They can keep cutting corners if they want to in China or wherever. But the people there are just people like everywhere else. And so they can't do that, I mean, they're going to start to get annoyed, and this is going to be one of the things that's going to be the downfall of the Communist Party there. They're going to have to start allowing people to have their freedoms, whether they like it or not. And this is going to be a perfect thing that's going to make people rebel and remember what happened 30 years ago in Tiananmen Square. And they're going to want their freedom. So whenever you're confining somebody, you're taking away their freedom. And in China, people are already confined in those regards enough. And now that they're doing this, it's going to make it worse, and people are going to start to rebel eventually. So we'll have to just give that time. But at the same time, people have to become more responsible. And it doesn't matter what it is. If you want freedom, you have to become responsible enough to have it in a lot of different regards, not just diet, but like social responsibilities, different things. And I also want to talk about the you know what, because, for a lot of people, maybe they somehow need that. I hope that it doesn't turn out that the you know what turns into something that really just kills a lot of people off. I hope it doesn't just start killing off large percentages of the population due to mutations in it, If it just keeps getting more mutations, more variables, and those variables are resistant to all of these whatevers that they're that they're creating. I hope that doesn't happen. but it's so possible, and it's all gone through everyone's mind. I'm not saying anything that any of you haven't already thought about. You've all thought about this by now. And I hope that doesn't happen. But if it does, it'll just have to be a lesson learned. It'll just have to be a lesson learned. And I think that we've got so many lessons coming ahead, and that people are really, really going to be forced to start being more responsible if they want to maintain and keep their freedoms. So tomorrow we're going to get supposedly like at least 10 inches of snow. They had said that yesterday they said 11. Today it said 10 point something. That's a lot of snow. We haven't seen that much snow. I think we had about that much about 3 or 4 years ago here. About 3 or 4 years ago. I wonder if I can I can't post a picture on that. I was like, I wonder if I can post a picture in the chat box. No. Hey, Mitch, what does that mean? Now, Brett, have you seen the River Girls since making that video? I'm not sure what that means, Mitch. River Girls. So, I've been regrouping a lot. And my main regrouping session that I do is just about to happen here. And that little reading from this book, Metaphysical Meditations, such a beautiful book, that got me going there. And this live video will kind of get me going. But when I do self-massage at night and when I just sit quietly, that's my connecting period, my main one in the day. And once in a while, I do it in the morning. But for the most part, before I go to bed, that's when I use the foot friend massage tool, all my massage tools. I'll use all my massage tools. I'll spend about an hour just getting totally quiet and doing self-massage and stretching and meditating all at the same time. And I bring in my clipboard. And I start writing all of the things that come into my mind from it. And it may be things that I'm thinking about that I saw on the news. It may be things that are just going on in my life. It may be something that I'd not thought of at all before that just came into my mind. But things, when I get quiet and I come to center, that's when I start to channel things. And also, I wanted to mention that I'm starting to get a lot more ESP, extrasensory perception, because I'll know when oftentimes, I'll know when things are coming. I'll know when someone's coming to the door. I'll know when someone's going to be emailing me. I'll know when somebody's going to be calling me. I'll know all kinds of things beforehand. And all I can tell you is that I chalk it up to me becoming more extrasensorial perceptive. And it's really cool. A long time ago, I started noticing things coming. Not like I am now, not as proficiently as I am now. But a long time ago, I started noticing trends and trends. I would say that's how I would describe it, like cycles and trends. And now I'm starting to notice different abilities, and it's pretty cool. I don't think it's scary really at all. It might have to do with all the dreams that I've been having and all the thoughts I've been purging through my dreams. I don't know. Hi, Diana. Hi, Diana. It's my favorite vid, the River Girls interview video. River Girls interview video. It seems like I remember that. Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. That's right. So that was your favorite video. Hmm. I have no idea what happened to those girls. I only met them the one day. So, I take care of me naturally. I take care of my customers and friends naturally. So it's been a really hard time, especially this time of the year, as I'd mentioned. And so I've just been focusing on doing those things. And my mind strays a lot. And when it's getting to the point of where I'm starting to feel bad feelings because of my mind straying in places that I don't want it to go, that's when I have to come back to center. And I've really been focusing on doing that a lot. And sometimes I'll get too out on a limb with my body and I'll get sore. If I sit too long, my butt will get too sore. And I go and I get my butt massage ball out. If my quads get too sore, I'll get my when all else fails tool out, or I'll get out a lana roller. If I need to breathe because of something, then I'll just sit and breathe. If I need to stretch or drink water or whatever it is that I need to do, I'll get in my little toolbox, my bag, and I'll pull out one of my holistic health tools and use it. And oftentimes I think to myself, wow, I just can't believe that people are even able to live the way they do without these tools. And a lot of people they'll get in pain and then they'll pray or they'll turn to their doctors or this and that. But I'm telling you, if you don't know how to use these things to dig stuff out, especially during this time, if you don't have the tools, I mean, I'm not just trying to sell you my massage tools. I'm telling you that I use them every day and I don't know what I would do without them. That's why I created them. I made them for me. And believe me, sometimes I think to myself after my arms are so sore from doing woodworking, because a lot of the woodworking has to be done by hand. And when you're doing this over and over again from sanding or filing, etc., then your arms get really sore. And when your arms get really sore, you have to massage your own arms. When I was a massage therapist and working on people, especially when I was a new massage therapist and I hadn't developed massage muscles, I was in serious inflammation pain. And I had not been taught. In massage school, they don't teach you how to do self massage. And that's why one of the classes that I taught when I was a continuing ed teacher was self massage for massage therapists. And so, um, another thing that I want to talk about is how the place that we're in right now is really, really trying for me. Okay, so it's really, really difficult for me because it's difficult for you. It's difficult for everyone. And when things are really difficult for people, the last thing that they want to do is something that pushes them. People right now do not want to be pushed in any regards. But see, it's kind of a do or die thing. They're being pushed, and if they don't attend to their own needs naturally, they've got a choice. They can try and attend to their own needs by going to a doctor if they can get into a doctor. A lot of them they've got medical insurance, and so they're running to the hospitals to try and get in, but they're finding that they can't. And so all of this coincides perfectly with everything, all of this learning experience of hey, I need to take care of myself now. What am I going to do? How am I going to do that? And so, like, this Facebook group that I'm on, this one particular Facebook group, Holistic Healing, I believe it is, Natural Healing. It's a very generic name. People are asking these very generic questions about how they can get past the you know what. What can I do? My mother is, it's the same thing over and over and over again. So many people have the Omni schlong right now. Do you do meet and greets? Do I do meet and greets? Oh, well, I haven't done any traveling really, Mitch. I probably will, but can you guys hang on for just a minute? Give me just a minute. I have to go pee. Hang on. Man, I was gonna blow my bladder. So, yeah, I might do some meet and greets if I can get traveling here. This morning, I'll tell you what, I really felt like leaving this morning. In fact, I've been thinking about it for a couple of days. Man, you can get away from all that snow and the storm if you just load up the car and go. And this morning I felt the itch like really bad. I really felt like just getting out of here. But my income is so low right now. People are not spending any money right now and they're not wanting to do their healing. And that's what I was telling you before. Like, I have one person, Appleton. I have this guy that's bought a lot of my products. His name is Appleton, and he wants to do a holistic consultation. And in a nutshell, this person, he's not in any kind of dire problems. He's doing okay. So his plate isn't full. Okay, so that's kind of what I'm thinking right now. Like, people's plates are so full, and just got through the holidays and stuff. And so the last thing that most people want to do is turn up the volume on their health, holistic healing activities, or spending money. So business is really slow right now, and so it's the same thing every year. It's a time of spiritual connection, and it's a good time to do this kind of a thing, a live presentation and talk about things that are going through our minds and stuff. You can write stuff down there in the chat box if you have a question or something. It's a good time for those kinds of things. But if you do have any kinds of pains, foot pain, I have foot friend massage tools. I made 5 of them over the last couple of days. I have 5 of them finished and ready to go, the regular foot friend. I have 3 shindigs completely finished and ready to go right now. I have a bunch of relatively smaller sized rollers, 1 3/4 inch wide per side. I have a bunch of those. I don't have any large rollers right now. I have a ton of pillows. If you don't have one of my millet hole pillows, that's one of the easiest things. Okay, that's one of the best things and one of the easiest things that you can get into. It's not like work, other than you have to learn how to conform it. It's one of the most enjoyable, and you'll sleep better, fantastic things that you can purchase from me, a millet hole pillow. Just amazing product. I've perfected it. So I have a whole bunch of small, medium, large, and now I have the extra large for big mother people. And what else? I have body pillows, a few of the large ones and the next size one down made. So last night I got back to doing something that I'd been really needing to do, and that is inversion. So I learned a couple of months ago that inversion really pushes you. And so I don't do it for too long. Even on just the gentle angle that I do it on, I put it on a chair on the end and put it on about a 15-degree angle and lay on it. And that is enough for 10 minutes. That is good. All the extra blood flow to your mind, it feels good. The relaxing of all the muscles in your body because you're turning yourself over feels really good. I don't think that I'd want to do it more than 20 minutes for me right now because I'm also in a place where I have a lot on my plate. Like, and talking about the ESP, okay, so here's the thing. If I am getting more sensorily perceptive, if I'm getting that, then I'm also getting more sensitive to everything else that's going on in this world. And if that is the case, and I think it probably is, then that means that I need to spend more and more time connecting with all of them, it, God, whatever it is. I need to spend more time connecting with that to be able to deal with it. I need to spend, I need to work on everything more, continually more. But I think especially that. I think especially that. What is that? Boom.ndngo. War.mgo. Okay, I get it. I swear to God. So as you can see, they're putting some kind of an ad on there. I have to keep up with it all. I have no idea what that is. Anyways, so hey Jennifer. So um yeah, I think that we're all being pushed to step it up. Not just me, but Yeah, we're all being pushed to increase our abilities, natural healing abilities. Shut down twice. Okay, so Joe Biden has gotten more out of control and got shot down twice. So first, the Supreme Court shut down his mandate for large employers to force their employers to get tested or vaccinated. That got shot down by the Supreme Court, so yay. See, all the truths are coming to the surface, and this is a good sign for our country that, they're not going to allow some rigmarole like that to happen. And the other thing is that the senator from Arizona and Joe Manchin from West Virginia are not going to allow the filibuster to get changed, the filibuster rules to get changed. That is also a good thing. Okay, so it's totally unethical, just like Donald Trump was totally unethical for his whole 4 years in office. Now the Democrats are being totally unethical and unacceptable and unreasonable. But thank God there are a couple of Democrats that aren't going to put up with that BS. The woman from I listened to her speech. I can't remember what her name. Kristen Sinema, senator from Arizona, said that she just wasn't going to unethically change the rules of the Senate to cater to the Democrats just because they have the barely the majority rule. Completely unacceptable. And so we're seeing that, even though it's close in a lot of regards, at least the truths are holding up here, and hopefully they'll continue to hold up. My work says get vaxxed, but respect people's decisions not to. All right, well, good. But as I mentioned at the very beginning of this video, that nobody should be putting pressure on anybody else to do something that they don't want to do. And nobody should be telling anyone that, putting some kind of a guilt trip on anybody. Nobody should be, shaming anybody else because they don't want to do something to their bodies like that. No. So I think that I'm just about done. So a little while ago, I wrote this one down because today and lately, I've been experiencing anxiety. And whenever I do, I get irritable and annoyed and all that. And that's when I really have to focus on doing things slowly and intentionally and breathe. Okay, so whenever I was doing massage and people were having a hard time dealing with the pressure or whatever, but I could tell they were getting there, but they needed to breathe, I would tell them, okay, breathe, breathe, keep breathing. And then I could keep digging stuff out, knots out of their bodies. So whenever you want to keep working, whenever you have to keep working because you're at work, or, you just want to keep working because you need to get something done. It's important for you to breathe whenever you're feeling frustrated, whenever you're feeling anxiety, whenever you're annoyed and irritable, etc. Focus on the breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. Get oxygen into your brain by breathing in through your nose and out through your mouth. And that will help you to get through. And then when you can, take a break. And when you take a break, come to the center and once again breathe and sit peacefully, stretch, feel your body for wherever you've got tension, Feel your mind for wherever you've got worries, and just come to the center. So important. Uh, Sometimes I think about quitting. Sometimes I think about quitting because right now I've been thinking about that more often because I feel as though I'm not really in the demand that I should be. I know that eventually I will be, and that's what keeps me from quitting. But right now, as I stated before, it's really so hard for people. People are so on edge that to take on anything like a holistic consultation or to take on, buying one of my products for whatever reason, financially or mentally or time wise, whatever, is difficult for people. The time of year. So I'm just accepting where they're at and knowing, and all the clues are saying that that is the case. And so I'm just trying to accept that and be with creation. I'm just trying to be with God. And yeah, so I think that that's all I want to say tonight. And yeah, I hope that y'all are doing well. We're having a little early live night Saturday instead of Sunday, just because I was bored and needing to do something. So I hope that y'all are well. It's now been an hour and 37 minutes. I enjoyed it. I hope you did too.